Oh, hi there. Huh. You caught me right in the middle of a repair. Just kidding, but not kidding. What's going on, guys? It is Sunday, which means it is another day of repairs. And today we got a big old chonky lizard. You guys might be familiar with this guy. This is a Godzilla figure sent over from a client named Matt, who I believe is already in the chat. So thank you for joining us today, Matt. Esteban Brazza, what's up, Nacho? Thank you for showing up. And yeah, so looks like the neck broke on this fella. And what we're gonna do, I'm already started. I was already ready to get going here. What's up, Brian Pena, my man Chrisman? So I'm heating this up right now to get this out, and I'll show you what's going on here. Just wanted to go ahead and knock this out real fast, get this heated up. Looks like I don't know. This is interesting. It's like a break, but not a break. Let's see if we can't pop this guy out. Trying to make sure that you guys can see everything that's going on here. I think that looks good. So I've been heating this up here to make this a little softer, so we can go ahead and pry out this joint to make things just a bit easier to work with. We're gonna set GODZILLA off to the side here. And basically what we have to do today is we're gonna reattach this here. We got a piece that looks like it was a metal peg, and it looks like it just popped out. Actually looks like, yeah. And so I believe Brian might have added a little adhesive to it. If not, then it just came this way. It's not a mess or anything like that, so it's good. He was careful, thank God. A lot of people are not very careful whenever they add adhesive, and it turns into a really big mess, and could cause a lot more problems. But luckily this does not look like it caused more problems. Now it does add a little bit to the work time here. As you'll see, we got to kind of go through and get rid of this. And this is with anything really. Any kind of adhesive, even if it's like factory or whatnot. A lot of people ask me, this is one of the most common things is, this is a HIYA Toys. Yeah, this is a HIYA Toys Godzilla. But a lot of people ask me often, how do you remove super glue? And honestly, I don't have a good answer for them ever. It's really, I sand it or I cut it off with a razor blade. Um, I haven't found anything that can remove it really. I've heard people say acetone, but that's only gonna melt it, and which could get it off of there, but it also could fuse it back to the plastic. I think you'd end up with a much worse case scenario if you were to use acetone. If there's some miracle super glue remover out there that doesn't affect paint, I have not found it, and I don't believe anybody else has yet either. And if they have, let me know. That'd be a nice one. Let the world know, actually, because that would be great to know about. But yeah, so I'm just kind of right now cleaning this up to see what I've got to work with. Got to get in here into these seams a little bit. Get some of this stuff off of here. What's up, my man Henry's here. Oh, I'm a little away from the mic. Sorry about that. Oh, look, I actually got it to work. Does the audio sound good? So the mic is actually working this time. Watch. Huh? Huh? Not bad. I've got it from last time. Got it. But yeah, now I can turn this thing up and I can turn it down and I can mute it. So the purchase was worthwhile. All right, so I'm trying to see if this actually will twist while grip. Oh yeah, it does. It's kind of like it's almost like a pop rivet type of piece here, which wow, look how easy that comes out. Okay. All right. Well, that came out suspiciously easy. I can't tell. It looks almost like a piece broke off. Yeah, you see that? It did work. It worked. Yeah. Um, I don't know. We're more than likely I'm not going to be able to reuse this piece right here. And I don't know if we actually need a metal piece to be replaced in here. We could probably replace this with just about anything that's going to keep it tight and functional, and that's all we really can ask for. So let's see what we got. So I think these might be, yeah, they're just the same piece. This is just like, this is literally the functionality of drop down hips, but in a neck joint. That's all we're looking at here. So these pieces are the same piece, which is good, which means that we don't have to worry about putting the wrong end into the neck or the head. I don't think it has an alternate head, so we don't have to worry about it really coming off. We just need to make sure that it's a tighter fit and that it's, like I said, functional. This thing is really cool, man. It's like his tongue even has articulation in it. Jaw hinges. This is really, really cool. I like this a lot. He's pretty large, man. He's a solid, I'd say, 8 to 9 inches tall, just from eyeballing it right now. So that's really cool. What's up, Samurai Chris? How you doing, man? All right. So yeah, kind of a slower stream maybe today. Getting adhesive off is never a fun chore, really. It's a chore. Um, at least this isn't like real bad. Like it's not causing us any big issues, but the only issue, like I said at the beginning, is that you've got to somehow get it all off. You want to clean all of this stuff off. Junkion Crafts and Builds. Nice. I love that name. Welcome. Aaron Hardy, welcome. All right, yeah, I'm just seeing if I can't get the rest of this junk off of here. We want a clean piece of plastic whenever we start doing our repairs, because just for some reason, if we don't want any surprises if something reacts negatively to this adhesive that is used, or if it, I don't know, might loosen up over time. We want to make sure that everything we do here is all us. So this might fit. There we go. Kind of a perfect fit, really. And so I'm trying to make sure, like, man, dang. I should just break this thing. Oh, yeah. I wonder if I've still got that piece. I could use my broken screwdriver and just put it in here for a solid piece. I wonder if I do have that. That actually would probably work. If you sand it down, if you were to sand down that metal piece, put adhesive on both sides. I don't think I kept that. I'm pretty sure I tossed it because I was upset about it. Oh no, there it is. Oh, it's too small. It's a smaller one. Oh well, anyways. What I'm probably going to do is just take a solid piece of this, the good old PVC plastic, and we'll just put it in there. And in fact, I might have a piece, even though it was like this metal before, I might have a gray piece, so it actually looks uniform. That'd be kind of cool. So I think we're going to be good here. I think if we do one more pass through here, and yeah, you can see this right here is where the plug went, right into here. So what we can do on this end here, okay, so there are slight differences. This piece right here has actually got an indentation in it right here, which is where the bigger, flatter end, almost like, I guess you'd call it the head of the peg, rested. And I'm trying to get this stuff out right here so when we do put something in there, it doesn't sit on it uneven. You don't want it uneven. That's the last thing you want, actually. There we go. Let's get this cleaned up. What's up, Ninth Archer? Man, my man's been cranking away at that freaking 3D printer. Green glow in the dark. Oh, that's neat. I like that. All right, let's see. Yeah, let's double check real fast. Do we have a? I'll tell you what. I'll take some pictures here for the. Just gonna take a few pictures, right? Let's take a few pictures for the Instagrams. Get this thing all cleaned up. And bam. All right. Found that I can make like videos on TikTok as well with my pictures, so that kind of helps. You know, that's a nice little extra. All right, let's see if I can find a gray color that's gonna match these. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna create, basically make a new peg for them. That's a little lighter. How about this guy right here? A little darker. Come on. Surely there's one in between somewhere in here. I think that's the same color. It's not really going to matter. This is just me being kind of OCD about it. Just to be kind of nice if we could find one that was closer to the actual color. Like I said before, it was a bright silver piece that was just sticking out of there because it was like it wasn't a pop rivet, but it was kind of a pop rivet, I guess. Sorry, let's see what we got here. I mean, a solid black piece would probably just work it just as fine as well. Oh. I think we got it. It's a little lighter. God dang. It's a real unique color we got here. It's kind of close, I guess. All right. I don't want to waste any more time doing that. We're not going to need it that bad. I just wanted to it'd be nice if we could find one that was the right color. As I try to stall. Bam. Alright, this looks to be a Revo joint, which will work just fine. They work just as solid as the Figma joints and whatnot, and the SHF joints. And so what we're going to do is, when we look at this piece right here, what I'm probably going to do is get a little inventive here. What's your account name of TikTok, Bill? Bill Maru Toychanics. Same as my Instagram. Thank you for asking. But so what we're going to do is, you can tell, I don't know if this will show up well or not. This is the head of the piece, and it's the same, basically the same diameter as this. All right, as the thickness of this peg. So we actually don't have to shave down a certain part of this for the head. We're just gonna have to shave down the rest of it. Okay, so what we might end up doing is at the end here, trying to see like how this pops in. What I could do is what I might do is this. We're gonna shave down here, so we're gonna leave a spot open that's bigger right here, wider, and we'll insert this in here to where it's nice and snug, and then we'll kind of go from there. I'm not sure how I want to cap the end yet, but we'll see what we can do. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and turn on our Dremel. I'm gonna turn it down. Check this out. Look at that. We can turn it down a little bit. Dremel time. I'm gonna turn it up just so in case I talk. I'm gonna forget something. Watch. All right. So what I'm doing is I'm literally just shaving around, as you can see, in even movements. I'm not going all the way down though. I'm just kind of keeping it right here. I'd say about 2/3 of the way in, maybe. And you kind of gotta maneuver this thing a little bit to where it's going to stay nice and even. Because what can happen a lot of times is you could start tilting your Dremel, and it starts like smooth, it kind of angles out, and that's not what you don't want. Okay, so we're gonna kind of, sometimes you got to rock the boat a little bit. Also, Crew Maru, if you guys wouldn't mind welcoming Matt Fuller, he's in the chat right now. This is his figure. It says, from what I noticed, the pin is supposed to lock into the hinge that connects to the head, but the hole is stretched out a little, causing it to be loose. Well, after we get done with it today, it is not going to be loose. It's not going to be loose. We're going to make sure that this is how you want it and how it needs to be. So let's shave down a little more here. I think we're going to have to shave down. Here's the best advice I can give you is when you're doing something like this, do a little bit at a time and then test. Do a little bit of time and test. Do a little bit of time and test. A little bit at a time and test. All right. So what we want to do is check this out. Will it fit? Not right now. It won't. And we don't want to force this guy in there either. We don't want it to be loose, of course, but we don't want it to like crack the plastic. Now, he said that one side seemed a little more loose, so let's check that. Still not going in here. All right, not a big deal. If you were to get this really close, but it ended up being slightly loose, we can fix that too. Which might happen. I wouldn't be surprised. Let's just keep it going. Like I said, the most important thing is to keep it even. You want a nice, even size here, nice, even shave. Okay. And what I do here is I kind of rest this thing. I rest it on my finger a lot of times. Now I have a lot of callus on here. You can't really see it, thank God, but it's there. And over time, you know, I've just cut my fingers up so many times and sanded them and whatnot. So a lot of times what I'll do is I'll just rest this on my finger so I can press up with it and press it into the sanding bit. And that gives me a little more leverage. However you choose to do that is up to you. I would say be very careful, as the Dremel can get away from you, for sure. And it can mess your day up. It can mess up a couple weeks, really, because, you know, we only heal so fast. Okay. Let's see. Looks like I'm going to kind of bring this end a little more in. Just keep an eye on it. All right. Let's not go too far. I like to clean it up a little bit too. You can either use your fingernails if you got them. And if not, you can use a razor blade or both. It helps. All right, let's see what we got here. Hang on, let's try this side first. All right, look at that. Okay, so we are in there. It is slightly loose. It's a little tighter right here near the end. Like I said, sometimes you start shaving in a little bit. And this is not a problem at all. What we can do, I just want to see if we can close this off. Yeah, look at that. That's how tight we can push that in to where now it's not as loose, right? This end cap right here is doing exactly what I'd want it to do. What I'm thinking though is on the very, very end here, what I could potentially do is I could drill a hole into the end and perhaps put a tiny screw in here that actually tightens it. That would actually tighten the whole fit. So when And this is just a test. If this doesn't work, then we can always go back to the original plan. But I like to try new things out. So I happen to keep all sorts of screw sizes around. And I'm pretty sure I've got some real tiny ones in here that might work out perfectly for this. And what we want, though, is something that's really small and not, you know, not too noticeable. Let's see what we got here. Look at this little guy. Not only do you want it to be small and unnoticeable, but you want to make sure that it's going to fit against the side. And it's not going to be too thick when you put it in, that it's, you know, not going to break the peg. We don't want that to happen. So let's go ahead and take these out. So just in case our Dremel decides to get nuts, you know, we've got this off to the side. So what we're going to do, we're going to swap this out for a smaller drill bit. And I would always suggest, let's see, this guy's pretty tiny. That's what we want. Let's see what we got here. It's pretty small. So what I like to do, see if I've got my fodder figure here. I've got a fodder Shang-Chi. So what I'll do is I take the drill, drill into him with this figure, or with this drill bit, and his plastic kind of heats up a little bit. And the whole point of this, nothing against Shang-Chi, love the character, love the movie, but this figure just happened to be needed for pieces. All right, now this is hard plastic, and so that's what we're going to be drilling into. And we need a tiny screwdriver, which hopefully you have one of those. If not, I suggest you get one. I've got a couple lying around here, honestly, but this guy is one of my favorites. It's by Cobalt. The only thing I don't like about this one is that it's got the magnetic grip on the inside, and I wish it was a little bit stronger. Just making sure that this is going to be the right size. Maybe I might need something smaller, which I have, like I said. Let's see, this is our 4-point. All right, hang on. Let's see which one of these works before we go attaching. Let's get it here. See if this works. This is perfect. Good. All right, let's put this guy back in. I would say always put your tools back up where you found them, but as you can see, I don't follow that rule. I mean, it's a good rule to follow if you follow it. So there's that. Okay, the whole point of this Shang-Chi thing is what we're going to do is we're going to test it to see if this drill bit was the right size for our screw. And it was. It works great. That's what we wanted. So let's go ahead and I'm going to keep that in there for right now so I don't lose it. And what we're going to do is we're going to take the piece. It's probably would have been smarter to drill this first. I just kind of thought of it as I was doing it. But so what we're going to do is this. We're going to make sure the drill bit. Somebody really likes my work. I don't know if you guys heard that. Somebody's honking out there. Oh, my man, Mitch Falcon's in here talking about drugs. Don't do drugs, kids. They'll mess you up. And my man Soul Brother. Soul Brother's been in here for a minute. Man, my guy. Just in case you guys didn't know, I think I got the stuff hanging around here somewhere. Oh, I put them up. Worth taking a stop. It's always good to take a break every now and then. Where are my stickers? Where's all my stickers at? I just put them all up. There we go. Just to throw a little awesomeness out there. My man, Soul Brother did this for me. You'll notice him down in the bottom corner there, but this is super cool. I just had some stickers done. And Soul Brother actually drew this version of me as the Toychanics Supreme, as he calls it. And I love it. I love it. I love it, I love it, I love it. Super cool. All right, let's get back to it. Okay, so now we're gonna take this right here. Also, you can follow Soul Brother on Instagram. Um, I should really see. I don't have like a way to like just do this quickly, so usually I have to just do it the most unprofessional way and wait for a minute. So he's actually got two accounts that I see here. He's got a personal, and then he's got a drawn, like only drawings, and it's this right here, the drawn from the dot soul, SEOUL. So there's that. And if you want to see what he's up to all the time with his action figure stuff, you can go to the Soul Brother right there. Bam. With my shaky hands. Okay. Little plug for you. That should get you a couple extra 1,000 followers. That's super easy. All right, here we go. Let's get back to it. So, now that we've already shaved this guy down, we found that it fits, but it's a little bit, it's got a slight looseness to it, which once again, we can fix with some adhesive. But what we're going to do first is we're going to drill this hole. All right. So let's get a nice grip, and these are the wire, the infamous wire pliers. They have this nice divot right here for wires, but they work great on rounded joints, either being ball joints or straight just pegs. If you try to do this with a regular set of needle nose pliers like this, they can, they only grip in this, crevice here. So if they, they can fire off if it gets too tight. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to drill a hole right down the center. Want to be very careful. Want to make sure you got to find that right spot in here. And so, all right, so I've got the hole started. You want to be very careful with these. You want to slow down, back in. I don't want this thing to freaking break off in there. It's very easy to break off. All right, we're all the way through. So now we've drilled all the way through. All right. With this plastic, though, that we had on the Shang-Chi figure, it's, this is there's a lot of mass here. There's a lot of real estate to work with. And that's pretty easy to insert a screw into. We want to be careful on here. Like I said, that drill bit was right, but also the hole can sometimes be a little smaller. Different plastics react differently. So we just want to make sure that this isn't going to snap our plastic. The cool thing about this little screw, though, is that it is the length of the original piece, which is awesome. So what we can do is actually keep this on the opposite side, on the outside. So this will not be able to slide off, which is awesome. And it's going to also be able to drill in a little closer and make it tighter. So what should happen here is that'll press up against this plastic, but the plastic will be against this smooth plastic. So the joints will be up against this smooth plastic, which we've shaved down, which will allow it to smoothly flow and bend. And this will actually, if we cut this just slightly shorter, it'll allow us to press this screw into that. We can super glue the screw into the hole that we've drilled, and it'll keep it nice and tight. So that's how that works. We just want to make sure that when we are putting this in, and it looks to be going in really great, chances are what's going to happen too, as once we insert this in, it's going to also expand the plastic a bit, making it tighter. So it's all going to work out for us in the long run, I believe. All right, so it's going in almost all the way. So what we want to do here is, happy with this, we're going to cut this end. Yeah, you can see we kind of expanded that a little bit. And I think there's enough to push. Yeah, look at that. Enough to push this on. Okay, I just want to see where this fits on it as well. You always want to double check, triple check everything. You want to make sure first off that your joint is connecting direct, like, see there's a small gap. I don't know if that'll show up. You can almost see it right there. There's a small gap, and we don't want that. We want it to be nice and flush. And so I think it looks to me what's causing that is what I mentioned earlier when we were talking about the adhesive, right? So it can't really fit flush right now because there's a little bit of adhesive. And what you can do is you can take a smaller drill bit like so. If like all the scraping isn't working, you just carefully get some of this stuff out of the way. I mean, it could even be some plastic that the pop rivet warped. During factory production. You never know. Just kind of carefully do this. It's on a lower speed, so it can't really, if it was to jump, it won't do any damage. Not too much, at least. Then we're going to go around this little scoop area right here. And we're not drilling into it. We're just lightly letting that drill bit kind of touch that, whatever it is that's causing it, this obstruction. Let's double check this here, just in case. Yeah, you can see there's still just a little bit of adhesive that's kind of in the way. Okay, let's just see by hand if we can just, all right, looks good on that side. Looks good on that side. Okay, cool. All right, so here's what we're going to do now. We are going to carefully snap this off here at the end. What I'm going to do, honestly, like, what I'm going to do. Why would I say that? Honestly. What I'm honestly going to do is not lie to you. We're going to take these right here, and we're actually going to separate the pieces out. We just want to be really careful whenever we're doing something like this, all right? So no chances. You know, we've already put a lot of time. We've already put half an hour into just this alone, right? So now that we've got those separated, these are great, man. These end nippers here that you probably use for Gundam kits. Any of you guys, you Gundam heads out there, you might use something like this. Maybe more along the lines of these right here. These can actually work too. I just find these are a little more dull on the end, and maybe that's because I've used these so much, but I've always used these end nippers, not just this pair, but you can slowly separate these ball joints like this. And Matt Fuller says, words cannot describe how grateful I am for you, Bill. Watching you fix this is absolutely fascinating. Thank you so much. Thank you, Matt. I appreciate that, and I'm glad that you're it's always fun whenever like the client shows up in in the chat. That's why I always try to send the invite out. I'm like, hey, I'm doing this live, so come on out, man. And if you got time, it'd be cool. I think some people find it very interesting. Some people, some people just don't care. And I get it. Like, I mean, I'm always interested in stuff like that, but it's not every time you get your car repaired or whatever, I'm not going to go up and so what'd you do? They might actually hate that. They might love that. I don't know. I guess it depends on the person. All right, so we're going to take our bag. I have not been taking photos of anything. Hang on. Let me take a photo of this before I clip it so I can show people what I did here. So we're going to take a picture of this. Let's take a picture. Give me a second, guys. Take a picture of that. Let's do it long ways so it works for the the TikToks. And then we're going to show this right here. Got them. And then we're going to show this with the screw inserted a little bit. Oh, you know what I like doing actually first is I like to show people how accurate they need to be. So you put like a tiny drill bit in like this. You show a photo of that and it's like, look how tiny that is. It's ridiculous. And it's like directly in the center, which is always the best. And also needed. Gotta do it that way. Alright, now let's take our screw. Kind of walking you through this whole process one more time. We're going to insert that in like we did. And we might have to go back into this with the drill bit again, just in case. Sometimes once we cut it, it could actually end up some plastic in the way, and we don't want that. Okay, so let's take this out. If I can get it. Very small. This is a crazy small screw. It's like an iPhone screw or something. Okay. Once again, bring our clippers around here. We're just gonna clip off this end right here. Man, I don't know. I'm kind of feeling nervous about clipping this. Oh, there we go. It works better on this side. Okay, you want to put it in a bag. Like I said, we're not going to need a lot of that end anyways. Maybe hold on to the piece this time, just in case. Okay, so then our crappy part fell down on the floor, but this is the part we wanted. And you can see it's just all mangled up right here, right? Because I cut this pretty sloppy. I wanted to make sure that I had some left over, just to make sure that I'm able to get a decent grip on this, right? So this is the part that kind of sucks, is what you got to do is you kind of got to hold this. You got to hold it. So we're going to get a nice tight grip on it. You could hold this with your... if you wanted to do it a little safer, you could. I just don't get the accuracy sometimes that I want, but you can grip it here like so. This might work. So we're gripping it with our wire pliers. And we want to make sure that we do this evenly. Kind of slow and steady wins the race here. Once again, take it out and check. So my Aaron Hardy says, my brother and I were basically gremlins as kids, took apart everything, made our father proud and our mother angry. I always enjoy learning about the inner workings of things. Absolutely, I did the same thing. Luckily, my parents didn't get mad at that, because it was one thing to take things apart. It was another thing, you had to learn to put them back together. It was always fun. Yeah, taking it apart's the easy part sometimes. Destroying it is easy when taking it apart. But putting it back together, like finding the issue of what broke it in the first place and putting it back together and making it work again is just magical. I love doing that. Hell, I fixed our sink this weekend. Yesterday. My shoulders are a wreck. I'm so old. I was laying under the sink and my wife's like, you got 2 marks on your back. I'm like, yeah, that's where I was just laying on it. I was laying on my back. My head was just thin enough to fit in between like these freaking pipes under the sink, and God. Well, we got it. We got it. All right, let's sand a little more off. We're basically making a hollowed out plastic nail, if that makes sense. So we've got this head here that we're making. All right. And then, and the cool thing what we can do about this in a minute is it doesn't have to be perfect when we insert this in, because we can actually sand it while it's still in. You got to be real careful when doing that. But yeah, you can totally do that. All right, let's yeah, because I'm pretty sure what's going to happen is this is going to be a little off kilter, just a bit. I can see it's a little lopsided right now. It's not a big deal. I mean, the end is lopsided right now, not the actual piece. Okay, so let's go ahead and sand this down here, or excuse me, cut it with a razor. We're basically cutting the excess, like, junk off of the sides here. And, which you could do after you insert this, but I like to make sure that nothing's going to get in our way. Anything that can make this process a little smoother, a little easier, I am for. Okay, cool. So let's take a photo of this. Sorry for the breaks, guys. I just want to be able to, for the people that don't tune in, I'd like to just have, the reason a lot of times the reason I take these photos and whatnot isn't really it's not for gaining likes, it's not for gaining followers or anything like that, but it's really for the people who message me and ask me, how do I fix something, or have you ever done this, or how do I fix this? And I can show them exactly how it's done with photos, because a lot of times I can get really long-winded, surprise. And I can sit there and go on and on and on about it. You can read so much, but photos, a lot of us are visual learners. And accompanied with, some instructions never hurt, So it's always nice to have that, and just to be able to send as a reference to somebody, like straight out of the gate, be like, hey, here you go. Or sometimes people get nervous, man. People send me really expensive stuff all the time, and it blows my mind, man. I guess the reputation precedes me at that point. You know what I mean? Like that's really cool that people trust you enough to send that stuff out. But I like to also, whenever somebody's a little nervous like that, I'm like, hey, look here, look at all these figures I fixed. You can hopefully put your trust in me. You know what I mean? And that's always really, really cool. Even no matter how, I don't care how many times you've heard of somebody like, being good at their job or whatever. If you haven't worked with them and it's your stuff, it's different. You know what I mean? And I get it. Okay, so we're gonna insert this here. I'm gonna take another picture. Sorry, I just want to really make sure this is documented well. This is cool. This is a new. It's like a new technique for me right now. Kind of with this. I've probably done something like this before on a transformer. I don't like working with transformers, man. They're messy. I love transformers, but I don't like working on them. I'm gonna make sure I can see right here that a little bit of plastic from where we were shaving earlier is kind of in the way of our what do you want to call this? Our plastic nail head. But it's on the underside, which is what we don't want. Like I said, once this gets inserted, we don't want this to have any obstructions in the way. And it looks like there's just a little bit of excess plastic. So we're just going to be real careful here. We're just going to kind of come in at this angle where we were. Yeah, that's looking good. Okay, cool. And a cool thing you can do is once you do get this like slightly started, you can just go ahead and grab your tools here and bop. Look at that. Look at that. Let's see if we can't. I mean, that is clean. We might be able to shave down a little bit, but man, for right now, I'm extremely happy. I don't know how well this is going to show up here, if you can see that or not, but man, that is a nice even. Look at that. Yeah, even in the shadow, you can tell that is a nice even top, but it's not coming out. Look at that. It fills this wonderfully. Great. Okay, so that's awesome. I would even be probably like, maybe I don't know, 10 years ago, whenever I was just like, I wouldn't say getting started, but like just, I don't know, third of the way into where I am now, I might have like popped this on like so. Let's see here. So here's a good way to do this. Carefully push that up, and then we're gonna See if we can't press that down into it. Because pushing this is just going to push this guy back up, right? We don't want that. But what I was saying was, older me probably would have done this and tried to put a piece of like super glue right here. And so it would have super glued this peg into this piece and it would swivel and it would work just fine, right? No big deal. But here we are. So what I'm going to do also, we're going to get our finger drill bit. We've got it, everything in here the way we want it, but I'm going to go ahead and try to, you just want to manually kind of walk it all the way through. There's a hole all the way through it right now, which isn't a problem at all. I actually like that. That way I know it's going to go all the way through, and if we need to, we can sand off the tip of the screw over here. And what'll happen too is when we bring this all the way out, you'll see right here, well, if you can see, there's like just a little bit of excess plastic that comes out with it. So we can do that, kind of scrape that off, and that's going to make sure we've got a nice clean route for the screw that we're about to insert. Look at that. Perfect. Let's bring that out. All right, I'm going to show this once again. I'm going to show this here. And then we'll put the piece through here so people know what's going on. We're almost done with this. This has been a good stream. This has been a nice new trial run. I'm pretty sure this is going to work. I hope it works. I don't see how it could not work. All right, so here's a cool thing too. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our screw and we'll start slowly kind of inserting this in here. Carefully, slowly, like you shouldn't have to apply too much pressure here, right? And what might start happening whenever you start pressing this in is that this might start coming out. But I guarantee you, once you start getting to the end, since this is cut so evenly, it's going to start pulling that back, and we should be set. We should be set. I actually cut this exactly the right length. Huh. That's awesome. That's really awesome. Sometimes you get really lucky and you save a little bit of extra time. All right, so let's take this. And we're not gluing it yet. In fact, we might not have to, but I just want to double check. So we're going to insert this all the way. So there we go. That's exactly what I was talking about. This thing was going to pop out. What you can do is probably hold it down like so. Let's just see if this works by itself. Let's see. Let's just start. Oh, you know what's going to happen is this is going to start twisting. So yeah, we might have to actually drill down so it's got something to press into. Give a little pressure. Because yeah, this is why we want to test it first. Let's see if we can back this up a little bit. I think what's going on here is it's actually being, I think it's expanding that plastic. It's having just a little bit hard time trying to hang on to it. Let's see. So, okay, so we're going to have a little bit of a fun one here. So the issue now we're running into is that this guy might be, I think the hole might be a little too snug for the screw. So what we might need to do is pull the screw back out and we'll take these guys out here. This is all part of the process. So we're going to remove this. It's in there nice though, at least. Like I said, I pressed it in with these a minute ago. Okay, let's take this out. Okay, so we're going to put this back in here. And we're going to bring in our same drill bit. We're not going to use a larger drill bit at all. We don't want to make it that much larger. And what we're going to do is find our drill. We're going to insert this here. I'm going to keep it on lower speed. I'm going to slowly let this go in. And just kind of slight, and I mean slight shifting of this. One thing that I didn't do that I usually always do is go through both sides. So let's go and do that. That could be another thing that is happening right now, is it's not getting its full rotation. There we go. And so what that does is it's just going to widen out the hole a little bit, just slightly. Like I said, you have to be really careful when doing that, because what can happen is you could break off that drill bit very easily, because those things are very thin, like crazy thin. Okay, let's try this again. Let's see what happens. And all we really need to happen here is to get this thing to basically stay still long enough to where we could push it down. What would have been probably, in hindsight, a better method would have been to leave a piece of this longer hanging out, right? And then we could have actually like gripped that and then tightened the screw on, and that might have worked a little bit better for us, but we didn't do that. Like I said, hindsight. Learn from everything. Like, this is the fun part though about doing like the new stuff for me anyways, is like you know, what's gonna work, what's not gonna work, and you never know. I know this will work. I just think there was probably a better way to go about this, but that's okay. So, all right, let's see if we can't insert this in. And I'm pressing pretty hard. I really hope I don't slip and stab my finger. All right. Yeah, so it's definitely what's happening right now is it's definitely expanding the peg inside of the plastic here. And so what we might be able to do, I'm trying to get this thing, it's just a little off. I'm trying to be able to grip it. There's not a lot of like room here, but what I can, if I can, grip it from the side like this, and then allow this to, we can screw this all the way in. So what I'm doing, I'll show you what I'm doing before I finish this, is I'm gripping the end piece here and just a little bit of this piece here, this lip. So what I can do is hold these together while this screw is inserted in. Oh, I think oh, hang on. It's a, it's a little difficult. Yeah, this would have been much easier had we have left the end piece a little longer. So hindsight on that one, of course. Careful. Just want to make sure it's tight. We got our screw on the end here. Seems to be working the way we want. It's got a little bit of a gap though, and I don't want that. So, oop, geez, came right at me. Yeah, this is like a this is a tough one just because of the limited like amount of real estate that you've got, and it's like trying to, golly, get this thing in here is, you don't want to hang on. You've only got so much you can grip. Let's see if this will work for us. You gotta be careful you don't put too much pressure on it. You don't want to sit there and break it. But yeah, I think this is going to work for us. Let's make sure we get this in there. And I'm hoping that we can. It almost looks like my screw might be going in just slightly angled. And so I think it just needs to get one more or two grips. It's really hard because once you start turning it, this thing wants to move on its own. There we go. Let's see. Okay, so the problem I've got right now... Oh, no, wait, that's good. Cool. I can't tell. What I don't want to be happening right now is like this to be moving the screw, but I'm also noticing that this is twisting as well, which is great. That's what we want. So what I am going to do is I'm actually going to take the screw back out. We're going to add some adhesive to it. Then we're going to put it back in, which I know seems crazy after doing all that work, right? We just did all that work, and now we're going to remove it. But trust me, it's worth it to test and make sure that it's going to work before you go and you know, mess it up. And I've got a great grip on this right now, so really want to make sure that if I can hang on to this right here, this would be wonderful. Got a nice grip on this. So this is when you get a little, this is where you get a little wild. Ninth says that's exactly what he would do too. There you go. That's how you know you did it right. All right, so we're going to add a little adhesive to this. A little bit of JB Super Weld while still maintaining this miracle grip that I've got. Take a photo of it a couple times because I'm sure one of those came out freaking blurry. Careful, careful. Don't drop your screw. Oh no, no. No. You got it in there, but oh god, my ankle almost cramped on that one. Oh my god. Ugh. Okay. Okay, we gotta move though because this does have adhesive on it. Okay. Okay, so now that we've got that in, we need to, once again, get our miracle grip back. It wasn't such a miracle grip, was it, once it started going in? Come on. Keep in mind, that adhesive is still in there. We want to make sure that we get a nice, tight grip. We've got like a slight gap, and I don't like that at all. It's making me nervous. It's not like this couldn't be redone. You know what I mean? Like, because now that we know what to do with it, but I'd rather, god dang, get it right the first time. It's really hard to grip. Let me try these guys right here. These might have a finer grip on them. Let's try it from this side here. Maybe we can angle it. This is what I call code red, which sounds scarier than it really is, but it's like once you've put the adhesive in, right? You've got the adhesive on the screw, right? And you're just like, you drop it on the ground or something like that. You got to be careful. This is turning out pretty damn good. I'm really happy with it. I'm just going in and making sure that every little thing that I can do, I've done before that adhesive completely dries. Yeah, starting out pretty good. And another thing we can do here, since I've kind of clamped some of this, you won't ever see it, but still, I don't know. I like try to make my repairs as pretty as possible, even if you are not going to see them, even if they're hidden, you know, inside. But you can kind of take off any adhesive that you might have got in there, because that was a tiny, really tiny drilled hole that we put in there. And you want to make sure that everything works out right. So clean up some of this around the edge here. And if for some reason you get done with this, and let's say it's just not at the tension you want, let's say you're just not happy with it, right? For some reason something's off kilter, something's not right, you can add a small bit of adhesive. And I'm going to do that just because I want this thing to be like absolutely perfect. Right now it's got a nice smooth function, but, and it's not going to loosen up because the plastic we put in there is just PVC plastic. It's not going to break apart because this is PVC plastic on one side with a screw literally going all the way through it. So that's awesome, man. I'm really happy with this. There is like a slight gap that pops up on here, which I think I could get rid of. It's just bothering me. The fact that I can press it shut and it goes away. I just want to make sure that oh man, I think that was it. Okay. Sometimes you gotta get desperate. So I have like these divots that I've drilled into my desk, and I use them to place pieces into them. You know what I mean? But so I don't know, it helps. I just did a video the other day of how to fix basically a pop rivet, and it's one of those things where, you know, you can sit there and clamp it all day or whatnot, or trying to get it out, and it's like you need a hole that you can hammer the pop rivet out into, but also you need a flat surface. So it's like, man, what a conundrum you're in. And that's how you do that though. So I am gonna add just a small drop of some JB Super Weld right here in the seams, just because I want to tighten it up. I'm going to put some right here on this seam. So I can do this, and what that does with these types of drop down hips is it goes in between here. Now you don't want to ever leave this alone when you're tightening it. It's really cool that you can see the screw. It looks like the screw's moving, but when you turn it over, the screw's moving this piece. It's awesome. It's exactly what we want. So yeah, this will make it tighter and a little stronger. And once this is dried, we can pop this back on, and this guy will be set. All good to go. It's pretty cool. Is there sandwich conversation going on in the chat right now? What's up, Creeper? Sorry, I didn't see you. I didn't see you there, man. Thank you for showing up. I appreciate you. We can agree pineapple belongs on pizza. Yeah, I like pineapple. I mean, I think anything can go on a pizza pretty much. Almost anything. Because it's pizza. It's fun. Don't take the fun. Don't stop people from liking what they like. Unless it's something really bad. You know what I'm talking about. Some weirdos out there. But food, come on. I'm gonna have people dictate what I eat. Craziness. You imagine seeing that online? Being like, pineapple doesn't belong on pizza, and you're like, oh, I've never had it. You're right. I've actually seen that a lot. People don't, like, they've never had it. Or they get it and they're like, no, you can't put that on there. I'm like, you certainly can. You don't have to eat it. That's why you can choose like half and half pizzas. Makes sense. Like, I don't like pickles at all. Yeah, see? Ninth gets it. I hate it when people stops. Yeah, I hate it when someone stops what I like I hate it when someone stops what I like. I read it right, but I, I said it right, but I read it wrong. And that doesn't make any sense. I hate it when someone stops liking what I like, stops me from liking what I like. Holy smokes. See, Creeper gets it. Not a fan of warm fruit on my food. Put cold fruit on it. Try it then. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you, man. Like some people like it, Esteban. You just gotta let them like it. You just gotta let them. Or you could get mad about it. I mean, I guess it's a good way to fight on the internet if you want. I mean, if you're gonna fight about something on the internet, I'd rather you fight about, like, I guess, pineapple on pizza than who should be president, which we're not discussing. That's against the rules here. And I'm gonna clean this up a bit. All right. So let's get back to this. Let's take our Godzilla here, and we're gonna heat up the neck. This guy, luckily, this is awesome. You can just heat this guy up. Heat this up. It takes a little bit. It's just like a big, thick piece of plastic up here on top. The whole upper torso is like a softer plastic. Doesn't feel like it. Actually feels like a harder plastic, but it heats like softer, if that makes sense. All right. I'm going to take our piece here. All right. It looks like there's one of these pieces actually has like nubs on. Oh, they both do. Okay, just making sure. We're going to pop this back in here. Nice and snug. Then we're going to take our neck pieces here, and we're going to make sure that these go on properly. Bigger piece. Smaller piece. And now you can see that you can't even see like any of the work we've done here. You know, you got this screw right there. Let's see if you can see that. You got a screw right here, but once you put this on, you can't see it no more. It's invisible now. All right. Let's take this. I'm going to heat up the head. Just takes a little bit. All right, should be good. Take a photo real quick. This piece. Pop that. I should be able to just pop this guy on. That head is too snug, in my opinion. And I'm pretty sure that's what caused this thing to break. So what we're going to do is we're going to make sure it doesn't break. We're going to take our rounded burr bit here. And we can do one of two things. Since it's got these nubs, we should be fine. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to just bring this inside. We're just going to barely Dremel this out, just a little bit. It's at a low speed, so we're not chewing a lot of it out. Just want to make sure that's nice and snug, but not too snug. We don't want it breaking, or I don't know how it would, but either way, we don't want it loosening anything up. I don't know how it could with a screw in there, but still. Boom. Yeah. We're all set. Got a cool little drop down in there. Lets his head move. My best Godzilla. Alright. Boom. And there you go. Godzilla is ready to wreak havoc again. Even though King Kong would win. King Kong would win in a fight. There you go. There's your internet fight. Who would win in a fight? Godzilla or Kong, or the big Kong? King Kong. You know what I mean? Or maybe they would just sit down and have pineapple on pizza. Who knows? Why do they have to fight, right? Who would win in a fight? How about who would work better together? Why don't we start saying that? Who would benefit the other? Who would really modify the other character to make them an unbeatable duo? How about that? Thanks, Soul Brother. I know that was probably the best Godzilla impression you'll ever hear. Yep. Yeah. All right, guys. We are all set. This guy's awesome. This is a really cool figure. I won't lie. I don't think I have a Godzilla figure. I have a NECA King Kong. I might have bought a Godzilla at one point. Huh. I'd have to double check. Maybe I don't know if I have one or not. Matt, you're very welcome. You're very, very welcome. Matt, if you're on Instagram as well, you could always message me there if you wanted to. Oh my God. Cheddar's here. Who would make a genuine friendship over the internet and prevail over the world? That'd be Bill Maru and JC Cortez. My man Cheddar. Oh my gosh. That's a lifer right there. That's a friend. Oh man, thanks for showing up, dude. It's at the very end. Better late than never. Better late than never on the Cheddar, right? But all right, guys. Yeah, this is it. This is a Godzilla. All set up and nice, pretty, fixed. He's ready to go out and wreak some havoc on some towns or beat up some giant moths. Or all the things that Godzilla does. Man, this is really cool. Man, he's got like double knees. I wish he had double elbows, but I don't know why he'd need them. He doesn't have. He's got little arms, little baby arms. This is a really cool figure, though. I won't lie, man. They did a really good job. I bet this would look cool with the NECA Kong. I wonder if it would scale well. Dang, dude, look at his tail. His tail's awesome. What was that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 points in this tail. He's cool. Yeah, holds a really nice pose, too. I wonder if I could get this. I don't know. I don't think you can get him on one leg. I think that's impossible. He can't really bend like that. That's what I want him stomping on stuff. This is fun. I'm having too much fun with this. All right, I need to let this go. All right, guys. Awesome. I hope you guys learned something today. And if you've got a Godzilla you need repaired, I'm your man. Or you can follow these instructions and repair it yourself. Yeah. Hope you learned, like I said, something today. And also, I'd like to show off, just real fast, the newest group of the Krumaru patrons. And, of course, the always amazing Nacho Esteban Barazza. My man from Portugal and now in Germany and probably speaks 25 different languages. Chrisman, Samurai Chris, the Dio Wonder, and then Dave Wonder, who also has his own Patreon right now that's going on, which I'm sure I'll be part of something on that. It's bound to happen. I love that guy. My man, Ninth Archer Innovations, becoming real close with this guy. He's starting his 3D printing venture. He also runs a shop on eBay, which I don't have the link here, but Ninth, if you want to put that in the comments, you could. That would be awesome. Geek Mechanics, who I don't think is on Discord. He's an amazing 3D printer, sculptor. He does some really cool Aquaman stuff, so got to give him that. Creeper 13 Creations, who does some of the coolest Hanna-Barbera customs I've just ever seen, because nobody does that. No, hardly any. It's always Space Ghost or something like that. But he's done, like I said, before. He's like Birdman with Avenger. We talk about Johnny Quest sometimes, so that guy's got my heart. Brian C. Williams. I think Brian has shown up in a few of my feeds. I sent him a message on the Patreon just saying thanks. He hasn't replied, so I think he's one of those ghost contributors who just like sneak around all sneaky. He's like a ninja. He's like a ninja ghost, a ghost ninja. It's a deadly combo. And a new guy that I have been just having a joy talking to, that's Maximo Juarez. And Maximo is actually going to be sending me, has already mailed it, a crazy project. And when I say crazy, I was like, this is very high up. This is going to be a very ambitious project. And I can't wait to show you guys what I'll be working on for Maximo. Maximo, thank you so much. You're awesome. Love talking Resident Evil with you. There's your hint. So, anyways, love you guys. Can't wait to talk to the patrons in the Discord chat today. And as always, remember, take care of each other, and the impossible just takes a little longer. Peace.